I got to my senior year in high school and I was ready to go off to college. I had my finances together, and my dad suddenly died of a heart attack at age 43. My mother was disabled, and I had a little brother and sister. So that seemed to change the entire course of my life. But the Lord blessed me with part-time jobs, some scholarships, and some loans, and I was able to work my way through college. In fact, I had a great opportunity. I became a houseboy at a sorority house. Yes. Now, they didn't pay me, but the food was free. And for me, that was very important. And the chow was great. It was fantastic. And there was no cost to flirt. I got all the flirting I wanted. Anyway, so as I got through college, I was accepted into medical school. And once I got into medical school, I ran out of money again. So it just happened that the Health Profession Scholarship Program was begun by Congress, and that was back in 1972. And I qualified for it, and so the United States Navy paid my way through medical school. I ultimately became a family physician. I served 6 years and really enjoyed it. I would have done it for free, but I'm glad they paid my way through medical school. So I learned something, and that is that the military does not assign your wife. You have to find your own. So I found this cute little brunette while I was on the ward one day, and as I ended medical school. And we fell in love and got married, and we've been married now, as of June 3rd, 46 years. Thank you. We have 4 children and 6 grandchildren. We had the 6th one that was born just 2 weeks ago. So the Lord has blessed me and my wife with many great things along the way. So anyway, as I came out of the military, I was looking for a practice location, and I found out that a little town in North Louisiana called Minden needed a doctor. So I set up a medical practice there, and it was successful from the beginning. But one thing I had not learned about ever before, except for the experience I just told you about the lawnmower, and that is how to run a business. Because in those days, if you opened a medical practice, you had to learn about business. And in learning about it, I became fascinated with entrepreneurship. And so what I did is I began to look around, and I said, why don't I open up some kind of business? And my brother came in with me, and we opened up the first Subway restaurant in North Louisiana in 1985. As you know, it's grown to 20,000 just in the U.S. Our group of stores grew to 35, and they still operate today in North Louisiana, across North Louisiana. It's been a very interesting and enjoyable experience. So after I left Congress after 8 years, I went on to the Trump administration, where you heard where I served there. So what was interesting about my service and my experience there was the last 11 months of the Trump administration, I served in the West Wing of the White House. Now, my office was located here, and over here was Jared Kushner, who is the he was sort of the shadow chief of staff. I was the deputy chief of staff, and then Mark Meadows was located next door to me, who is the official chief of staff. Across the hallway was Vice President Pence, and down the hallway 10 steps was the Oval Office. So I got to serve for 11 months, only steps away from the President of the United States and the Oval Office itself. And it was an incredible experience. So let me first tell you about the 3 basic functions of the Treasurer of Louisiana. Number 1 is to take your tax money and money from the federal government and invest it. Why do we need to invest that money? Because the buying power in your dollars is going down every day because of inflation. Sometimes high inflation, sometimes low, but it's always reduced. So you have to invest that money if you're not spending it. And mostly we invest in tax-bearing type of assets. Some is in the stock market, but it has to be done in a safe way, and we've been getting good returns. For instance, just in the last year, we've made $400 million for the taxpayers of Louisiana. So we're trying to be very careful with that. Number 2 is the Treasurer is also the chairman of the State Bond Commission, and the Bond Commission is serviced out of our office anyway. So that's a very important primary responsibility. What does the Bond Commission do? We oversee cities, other political subdivisions in their acquiring of debt. So if a city floats a bond or whatever, it has to go through the bond commission to be approved. And that's an important function. Why? Because if a city gets in over its head, if it goes upside down, if it can't service its debt, then it could come under administrative control, meaning the state has to take it over and pay its bills. And this happens anyway from time to time. But we feel like that's a vital responsibility to help cities out of problems, because cities are having lots of problems. Water systems, many water systems around the state are subpar. Sewer systems need repair, bridges, roads, all these things. And so that is our important function, is to be sure that if you borrow money to service these things, that we're going to see to it that you don't get in over your head. We have experts that analyze things to be sure you can service the debt. And then the third, and maybe the most popular function of the treasurer, is the Unclaimed Property division. So what is that? That's money that somehow ends up in the state's hands because it didn't make it to you. It's your money. What could that be? It could be perhaps a tax refund that didn't make it to you. Maybe you moved and it went to the wrong mailbox. It could be an inheritance from somebody that you weren't aware even left you some money, or even didn't, just probate created that situation. There could be a lost bank account from a relative or your own that you forgot about, or a brokerage account. So it comes from many different directions. Only weeks ago, we matched records with the Louisiana Department of Revenue, and we sent out, as a result of that, over 27,000 checks to Louisianans who didn't even think they were going to get any money from us. But because we could match their tax records, we sent it without any kind of notice. Now, the worry was that people would throw it away thinking it was some kind of promotion or a scam. But if you got one of those checks, please deposit it, because it's real money. And but there are many other ways you can get money, and that is to come to our website, lacashclaim.org, or you can simply just Google us, and you can come to our website, put in your name, identifying information. And believe it or not, 1 in 6 Louisianans are said to be owed money through that.